All right, a happy Wednesday. Hopefully everyone is doing great out there. We are certainly in the stretch run of playoff seeding. We've got news, breaking news, a Jrue Holiday 4-year, $135 million extension with Boston. As Woj reported, just sent out a group email to our writers and our TV people, just kind of on the impact of the Holiday extension, how it impacts Boston next season, and certainly 2025-26. That's probably the year to keep an eye on. Holiday had his player option for next year was at $37.3 million. When you add in the likely bonuses to that, it was right around $39 million. So he's declining that $37.3 million extension, and now he is replacing that with a $30 million contract. It saves Boston roughly $45 million in luxury tax penalties, probably when it is all said and done, whenever we get to next year. The big thing that it also helps Boston, it reduces his cap hit, an additional $7 million. It eliminates all the bonuses that he had in his contract. In that player option, Holiday had up to $5.4 million in bonuses. Some were considered likely, some were considered unlikely. Bonuses count towards the first and second apron. So the Celtics now give themselves some breathing room below the second apron here, and if they had to make a trade, and we're going to kind of go into that, all the ramifications. Boston was a luxury tax team, a first apron team, and a second apron team. If Holiday had opted into that $39 million, $37.3, and then when you add the bonuses contract, okay, they were going to be there anyway. So now this gives them some flexibility. Starts at $30 million and it goes up gradually. 4 years, $135 million. It's a good deal for Holiday. Career earnings are right around $390 million when it's all said and done. It is rare that a 33-year-old point guard or a 33-year-old player gets a guaranteed contract in excess of $100 million. Holiday got $135. Draymond, LeBron, Steph Curry, and Al Horford, the only 4 players, guaranteed money. Not talking about the Chris Paul 4 for $120, but guaranteed money. Holiday got that. I thought the extension would be somewhere in that 3 for $110 range, basically $36 million per. Boston went another year. By doing another year, they lowered that cap hit, so now you're taking on a $30 million cap hit. So how does it impact the Celtics? Okay. You are a luxury tax team. You are a first apron team. You're a second apron team. Okay, starting on April 15th, right? Cannot send back cash in a trade, take back more money in a trade. They don't have access to their $5.1 million tax mid-level. You never had access to that anyway. Can't aggregate contracts in a trade. Can't use a pre-existing trade exception. And if they finish the 2024-25 season, their 2032 first-round pick is frozen in a trade. Okay, remember the 7-year rule. So starting at the June draft, we go from 2024 to 2031. Once the calendar flips next year, 2032 pick becomes frozen. Okay, everybody's talking about the apron, the apron, the apron, the apron. Okay, here's why Boston can get away with being an apron team in 2024-25. Starts with a D, depth, okay? All 5 starters are under contract for next season. Al Horford, Peyton Pritchard, Sam Hauser. We'll see what happens with that O'Shea Brissett player option. Your first-round pick, your second-round pick, Jaden Springer, Jordan Walsh. You have depth. You are not one of these teams like Phoenix, and you are basically going to have to recycle the minimum barrel once again or overpay to keep Grayson Allen or Royce O'Neal. You have depth. We mentioned the luxury tax was lowered there. Certainly a nice little bit of savings. The bonuses that we talked about get eliminated. Holiday contract laden with bonuses. I know everyone looks at my tweets, and as far as Jrue Holiday with the check mark, we don't have to worry about minutes played, games played, rebounds, winning a championship for the next contract. Still, there's some bonuses that are in play with Holiday right now. So that's the impact on 2024-25 as far as their cap ledger. When you fill out the roster, you basically have, and we tweeted out their roster, you could basically roll in with the same roster and then your 2 draft picks. It's a nice problem to have, and we'll see what happens in the playoffs. Certainly will be the favorite. Even if they get to an NBA Finals and lose, I still think there's another 1-year window as far as keeping this group together. Now, here's where things get sticky. And here's where ownership is going to have some financial decisions to make. Starting in the offseason, July, Derek White, extension eligible, 4 years, $122 million. Sam Hauser, extension eligible, 4 years, $78 million. Jason Tatum, Supermax eligible, 4 years, roughly $315 million. So you add those numbers, and then all of a sudden, you're in the soup again, right? You're in the apron. You're in the luxury tax. You're in the first and second apron. Next year, in 2025-26, Boston has $170 million committed to 4 players. Tatum, if he signs the Supermax, Jaylen Brown, Kristaps Porzingis, and certainly now with Jrue Holiday. Total payroll, $180 million. Luxury tax is at $188. First apron, $196. Second apron, $208. So, as you can see, Boston, if they want to try to avoid the aprons with White or picking and choosing, will have to make decisions in the 2025 offseason. You don't have to do it this offseason, okay? You can play it out. I would still offer White that extension. It's a good number at 4 for $122. And then you can start moving some parts around as far as for the 2025 offseason here. But as I said, depth matters when you are an apron team. And the Celtics are, but you have the 5 returners in starting lineup, and you have 7 rotational players. Pritchard, Hauser, Horford, certainly your younger players here. You have a great balance here. So a win-win for certainly Jrue Holiday, 4 for $135. We'll see how that contract ages on the back end when you're making, $38 million at $37 million. That's for another day. But if you're the Celtics, you got to be happy. Holiday comes off the board. Free agent class is lukewarm at best. A lot of restricted guys. Tyrese Maxey, Emmanuel Quickley. Paul George is out there. I don't think you're going to get... LeBron is out there. The free agent class is probably one of the weakest that we've seen in a while. The one thing you do not want to do is have Jrue Holiday go out into free agency. Would a team offered him 3 years? I don't know. Would a team offered him 4 years? Probably unlikely. But I could have seen a team like maybe Orlando offering 2 for $80. Something like that. So all in all, it's good. It's a good extension. A little bit rich on the back end, but if you're a Celtic fan, you got to be happy as far as getting him locked up before the playoffs start. Talk soon and have a good night. Jimmy with the heat, I'm on fire. The CDA on the list,